Every single morning, before we even leave our beds, our physical spaces are completely flooded with digital demands. Some look at this daily ritual and see a powerful tool for building global communities. Others see a destructive force dismantling our social fabric. To understand the true cost of these platforms, we have to evaluate their impact on two distinct levels: the personal psychology of the user and the broader structural health of society. While the ability to connect instantly offers distinct advantages, the negative consequences on both the individual and the public sphere are becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. We are dealing with a paradox where the tools that bring us closer to information may be driving us further from one another. To evaluate this tension, we first need to map the exact boundaries of the benefits these tech companies claim to provide. At a structural level, these systems have shifted the primary mode of human interaction from physical proximity to digital notification. Platforms like Facebook operate sprawling physical infrastructures dedicated to one specific goal: eliminating the friction of geographic distance. For individuals living abroad, these networks act as a vital lifeline, allowing them to maintain immediate ties with family and friends. This chart illustrates the network's two main functions. On one side, personal communication. On the other, the architecture forms massive online communities. These digital communities function as a global loudspeaker, raising awareness for complex social and political issues. Groups that historically lacked access to traditional media can now utilize these tools to build global momentum from the ground up. Various global movements rely entirely on these digital campaigns to exist, amassing millions of interactions in a matter of days. If human interaction were strictly about the efficient transfer of information, this system would be a success. But social trust relies on physical nuances that a screen cannot transmit. There is a critical blind spot in the theory that constant digital connectivity is an absolute good. Hyperconnectivity online directly correlates with a weakening of genuine face-to-face interactions, even when people are physically sharing the same space. This phenomenon is particularly acute among young people, who log an excessive amount of their developmental time online. This graphic measures the resulting social isolation. As physical detachment increases, the needle steadily moves into the danger zone. This digital wall doesn't just block others out, it forces the user into a cycle of constant self-curation. The mechanics here are deliberate. These platforms are designed to be addictive, engineering algorithms that keep users locked into continuous scrolling. Users face daily pressure to compare their mundane, unfiltered reality with the carefully curated highlights of others. The clinical outcomes of this pressure include measurable spikes in anxiety, depression, and reduced personal productivity. The platforms extract a heavy psychological tax in exchange for the illusion of connection. Beyond individual psychological harm, these platforms inflict far-reaching damage on the broader society. We see this same pattern of digital efficiency turning into a systemic liability when it comes to how information travels. The exact same frictionless sharing architecture that helps marginalized groups organize also facilitates the rapid, uncontrolled spread of fake news. This model shows how false information behaves in that ecosystem. A single fabricated story exponentially duplicates, manipulating public opinion on a massive scale. The ultimate danger of this amplification is its proven ability to sway actual election outcomes by manipulating the voting public. The lingering societal aftermath leaves populations mired in confusion and a collapse of trust in institutional truth. Tech companies have made attempts at content moderation and introduced usage controls to curb this. But despite these corporate mitigation efforts, the basic architecture of the platforms ensures these societal challenges remain deeply entrenched. When we look at the complete picture, we have to weigh the evidence directly. In the positive column, we see undeniable improvements in rapid connection and global information sharing. In the negative column, we track the degradation of real-life relationships, a rising mental health crisis, and democratic vulnerability via widespread misinformation. When the efficiency of the connection is measured against the erosion of trust and the rise in clinical indicators for anxiety, the trade-off becomes increasingly difficult to justify. At the micro level, individuals must practice mindful use to protect their own psychology from the algorithm's design. At the macro level, governments and tech corporations are urgently required to implement hard structural measures to minimize societal harm. Social networking sites will remain a pillar of modern society. Our task now is to regulate them from a wild frontier into a safe public utility. This video is brought to you by the IELTS Focus, Zalo 0847 705 973, an English center specializing in IELTS preparation.